Good morning. It's Mark Lanier with your video thought for the day. So in my quiet time this morning, I was reading out of Colossians Chapter 3, and I was trying to work through it in the Greek and see what it might say to me this morning, and I appreciated something that I hope to share with you. I hope it blesses you today. Colossians 3:12 in the English Standard Version says to put on then as God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, compassionate hearts, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Now, reading that in the English is amazing, and it does wonders for us, but when I read it in the Greek, my Greek is let's just say that I have to read more slowly in the Greek. And I have to really concentrate on each word and each concept to make sure that I get it and that I'm reading it right. And so I start out with the verb that to put on then, induo. Induo is in the imperative, which means this is an instruction. And it's in a form of a verb that's talking about something you're doing yourself. But it's the standard verb that we would use for putting on clothes. You would induo means I put on clothes, and so Paul is telling the Colossians that they are, just as they get dressed each morning, they are to get dressed in a way that's not indicating what event they're going to, though it makes sense. You know, if I'm going to go to a wedding, I dress differently than if I'm going to an athletic event. But Paul's telling them to put on their clothes as people who are holy and beloved, chosen by God. So we dress differently than the rest of the world does. And the way we dress is described in 5 ways, if you will. There are 5 articles of clothing that we are to wear. The first one is translated compassionate hearts. Now, the word that's translated for hearts actually means your guts, your entrails. Back then, that's where the people thought your emotional seat was. It's why you feel you have a pit in your stomach when things aren't going well or when you're worried or concerned. But we translated heart because in today's culture, we talk about the heart being the seat of the emotions. But all Paul is saying is that we are to have emotions of compassion, compassionate hearts. We're to care for other people. We're to have kindness. And the word that's translated kindness, it means kindness. It means a consideration for others. It's again an extension, though, of feeling. It's how we care about people. And then the third thing we're supposed to wear is humility. And I think everybody knows what humility is, but it's contrasted to the idea of pride. Humility is something where we don't overly regard ourselves. We don't think too highly of ourselves. And it goes well with the next word that Paul uses. It's translated meekness, but I get worried that sometimes when we read meekness, we think that means kind of this weak, type attitude. And that's not what the word meek means. Jesus was meek, but he had no trouble throwing the money changers out of the temple. Moses was meek, but Moses did a lot of things. The word meekness is closely tied to the word for humility, but it's more in how it gets expressed. How do I say it? Prautes is the Greek word, but prautes means to not be overly impressed with your own stuff. My buddy Ken Dye told me once, don't start thinking you're something on a stick. It's that concept of being considerate to others and acting in ways with others that shows you don't think that you're too great. And then the last one is patience. And being patient is something that is a trait we are to put on. So that's our video thought for today. There are 5 things for you to get dressed with. No, don't just wear your clothes today, but as God's chosen ones who are holy and beloved by God, wear compassionate hearts, feel for other people, be kind and gentle, and don't think so much of yourself that it magnifies you over others. Seek to serve others and to be there for others, and do it with patience. That's your video thought for the day.